Today we're going to talk about things you can do, a couple of ideas for things outside of the park. So during our time in Zion, we had a little bit of time to explore a town called Kanab, and one of the claims to fame of Kanab is that it was one of these western towns that was filmed in all kinds of movies and TV series such as Stagecoach, The Lone Ranger, Death Valley Days, Gunsmoke, and many others. But we ended up spending an afternoon visiting the town and stopped in a couple of tourist spots.
We had passed the one particular tourist spot called Moki Cave. Saw the signage. It had said it was a museum of ancient history. Moki Cave is located in the scenic Highway 89, which is the highway we were on as we were entering into Kanab. And it's 5.5 miles north of Kanab. They have a museum and a gift shop in the cave. It is advertised as a natural history museum, featuring a lot of Native American artifacts and a huge amount of dinosaur tracks that were brought in from other areas. Since 1951, the cave has been owned by the Chamberlain family. Garth and Laura Chamberlain originally purchased the cave and transformed it into a bar and dance hall. Yeah, it was very fascinating to walk in and see this long bar. I mean, it looked like it was set up, they were going to serve you a drink.
I wanted to order a beer,
yeah.
But they weren't serving.
Yeah, Garth had studied archaeology, paleontology, and geology when he was at Brigham Young University. And he was also a very well-known in the area football player for Brigham Young. He had a dream of owning and operating a museum because of these interests that he had. Mm-hmm. And he was a collector, so he wanted to show his collections to people. So today, the Cave Museum houses such a vast variety of artifacts, from these dinosaur tracks to the Indian artifacts. There's a back room, and you go into this back room and there's actually black lights. The black lights allow these colors in these rocks to be shown more magnificently. So it's just very unique.
So there's 3 different areas that you visit when you're in Moki Cave. And overall, it's a smallish kind of footprint, but each room does provide enough room for the displays of the various things you're going to see.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, it's a very diverse type of collection. It's very eclectic.
Indian tribes,
Yeah, it's very eclectic.
So that's a great word for the whole museum. The whole thing
is very
is
eclectic.
Super eclectic, capital E, quirky.
It's not a museum that's going to have a long time as you peruse all the different artifacts and stuff. It was small, it was quaint, it was nice, it was family owned. I liked it. It was a nice little museum.
And after that, we hopped in the car and continued driving down a little bit south into the actual town of Kanab and landed at a place called the Little Hollywood Movie Museum and Trading Post. And I think it was advertised as having sets and memorabilia from the Wild West movies. And so we popped in here to see what we were going to see. So we walked in, we saw sets, or we saw remnants of sets.
Yes, they were not maintained at all. I think they were just placed there and nothing is really ever done to them. It was very weeded.
Very dusty.
Falling down parts of the set buildings.
But the sets that were on display, and there were several, most of them, if not all of them, had signage on them that told you what either TV show or movie, and I think they were mainly movies. The piece of the facade that you were looking at was a part of. And among the movies that are noted that they have memorabilia from include Sergeants 3, which featured the Rat Pack.
I haven't seen that.
Outlaw Josie Wales, Black Bart.
I saw that.
One Little Indian, did you see that?
I think I did.
See, I haven't seen any of those. Again, kind of a dusty type of experience, cobwebs, just a kind of, picture that. And so you make your way through these different things. On the one hand, this is the kind of place I do like to go to with the camera and just take photos.
Yeah.
It's fun for that.
Right. You don't enter into any of these buildings. These are all facades.
So when you're in the area, you may see some brochures, some signage saying, hey, one of the things you could do is visit the Little Hollywood Movie Museum. So that's a little sneak peek of what this is about. Top tips. So if you're staying several days at or around Zion National Park, I would just recommend take an afternoon and explore one of the nearby towns. So Kanab is one of those, and we've described 2 things that are in or very near Kanab. You can spend a chunk of time in Zion itself, doing the hikes, doing some of the epic things that you're going to experience there. But if you step outside of that area, even just about a half hour or so drive, you can soak up more adventures and more experiences to kind of round out your time in the area. And so I always like doing the extracurricular activities to the main attraction.
Well, there's very nice things to do in these small little towns when you've possibly gone on your big major hike and you want to do something that's a little more low-key. So heading off to one of these old towns that are in the area can be relaxing. You can have fun with it, stop and have a little bite to eat, and just make a nice day out of it.
Yeah.